And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Season 2 of Sit Back with Shaq. And of course, is brought to you by the Bristol Institute of Business Management right here on the PodHub platform. Lots have been happening right here on the PodHub platform. And of course, we have season 2, which is starting off right now. Some fantastic guests as always. We've stepped up the elements with Sit Back with Shaq. And we've got two guests on the show. We've got a renowned commentator, ex-Sri Lankan Test cricketer, Russel Arnold is going to be talking to us in just a few minutes. We've got sports journalist Rex Clementine is also going to be talking to us. And what we've done on the show with season 2, of course, we've also added an entertainment segment where you've got an opportunity for you to sit back, relax, and be entertained. And two fantastic musicians, father and daughter combo of Shafi and Jana, are also going to be performing live for you right here on the show. And we also have a segment that we've introduced called the Homeowners segment, an opportunity for homeowners out there. If you want to be a part of the platform, by all means, just drop us an inbox. We will get in touch with you. Introduce your business, introduce what you do right here on the platform, and approaching different customers and of course potential clients also at the same time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Wednesday evening. Sit Back with Shaq goes every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Now we're going to cross over live to Sydney in Australia, where Russel Arnold, we've actually woken him up, believe me. We opened him up and got him on the show. And let's quickly cross over to Russel Arnold live in Sydney right here on Sit Back. Hi, Russ. How are you?
Hi, Shaq. How are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, you're right. You've woken me up.
I don't.
That's for sure.
I'm so sorry, Russ. But unfortunately, this is 8:30. What time is it in Sydney right now?
It's just past one in the morning.
So sorry, my friend. So sorry, but I had to get you out because obviously we were talking about, we're going to be talking about the new playing conditions that is being enforced by the ICC because of the pandemic. Before we do get into the pandemic, now you've been in Sydney right throughout this the COVID-19 situation. How is it there right now?
Well, life is calm, I would say. Lots of things are basically normal. Kids are back at school, all their sports activities are up and running. We got sport to watch. Saturday, rugby game, I'll be going down to watch. So things are pretty much rolling on. Of course, you are supposed to be disciplined. There are your social behavior has to change somewhat. But in general, socializing, meeting friends, going out to eat, drink, it can be done. Yeah, not the same as before, but these things can be done, and life is pretty much normal. On the other side, of course, still there are job losses and various factors, but we are well ahead of the rest, I'd say, at this stage.
That's wonderful. That's good to hear, and good that life is slowly coming back to normal. Back here in Sri Lanka, things are also sort of easing up, but the only thing is the fact that we've delayed opening the airports, which are scheduled to be open on the 1st of August. So no new date has actually been given, but slowly yet surely things are hopefully getting back to normal, which is what we want to see. Now, for almost 4 months that we really haven't had any sport on TV, and Sri Lanka being such a cricket crazy country at the same time, irrespective of the fact that Sri Lanka plays, doesn't matter who plays, but if there's a match on TV, people will always sit and watch. There's been no cricket for the last 4 months or so. England's well basically planning to host Pakistan in the next couple of weeks or so. But let's talk about the new playing conditions because of this pandemic. How is that going to affect cricket in general, Russ?
Well, there will be a few changes. I mean, life on the whole, there are changes. Hence, that'll come into the sporting arena as well. But the main thing in terms of playing cricket itself um, is the fact that you won't be able to use saliva anymore on the ball. Now, to maintain the cricket ball as a bowler, that's important. He needs the ball to swing. He needs a bit of shine to get reverse swing or whatever. And saliva is the component that would help that. But now that he can't use it, maintaining that ball is going to be very difficult. You can use sweat, but sweat actually makes the ball heavier. It doesn't allow you to shine or to shine the ball. Hence, it is more negative for the players. So how are they gonna get something off the ball as the game goes on? So as it's a new ball, it'll swing a bit, and then the effect disappears. So it's going to be challenging for the bowlers, especially in trying to come up with more tricks. Already it was challenging the way the game has been going lately in favor of the batsman, especially the shorter games. Now it becomes a lot more challenging. That's the main factor. Of course, there will be COVID substitutes and whatnot. Um, those are pretty much standard. But in terms of the game itself, I guess this is going to be the biggest change.
Well, Russell, talking a look, well, basically talking about these changes that we are going through, or we're going to be implemented with this whole COVID-19. Do you feel that the ICC possibly will just absorb this if it works out, or is it a temporary measure till we feel that the pandemic can be sorted out?
The saliva.
Yeah.
Um, well, it's hard to tell. It's because the disease can be transmitted through saliva. So that's the reason why they want to stop it. Of course, players will struggle because they're so used to putting just doing that and getting the ball to shine. So it's going to be a little hard to stop it. But yeah, you can assess as you go on. But initially, the world's got to clear the issue before the ICC can even think of it. They have to fall in line in keeping people safe and making sure the game goes ahead. So yeah, down the line, maybe 3 4 years time. But initially, we need vaccines. We need some medication for this. If not, you don't see any changes otherwise for the ICC to make and say, okay, you can use saliva once again. So that for that we are a long way off, Shaq.
Now you're off to a rugby game this weekend. Is there any social distancing that's actually been implemented for sporting events in Australia?
Yes, so there are different regulations at different places. So in Perth, 25% of the stadium's capacity is allowed in. So there is social distancing, about 2 meter rule will be maintained. So they're gonna allow 8 to 10,000 this weekend. So most games, that's how it's going. So that means you can be spread out and enjoy the game. Of course, we have already had 3 4 rounds and crowds of 200, 300 corporate boxes. They have been used already.
So how is this going to be in terms of cricket? Now, is the Sheffield Shield actually started in Australia? The domestic cricket is it back at the moment?
No, we are in July, Shaq, so it's winter.
Ah,
You can
yes,
see.
yes.
Yeah, so it's off season where cricket is concerned. Sheffield Shield, they get going in September, October, so we still have time to get out there. So it's pre-season training that's happening, which players are looking after their fitness and maybe trying to get the rust out. So that type of thing. But the way things are going, come the cricket season, you will see crowds, and hopefully they will be able to increase the number of people that can get in. But of course, over in Victoria, that's Melbourne, they are having an issue where the virus is spreading, and they're coming up with larger numbers, which they haven't seen at all throughout the last 4 months in Australia. So that is a concern. But the other cities seem to be able to move forward.
So let's talk about the potential. I mean, you got the T20 World Cup that is set to happen. ICC really haven't ruled out at the moment, or have they so far?
Well, the word is that it's going to be hard. Australia have said it's going to be hard for them to host it. They can have one team in a biosecure environment, look after them, the logistics, keep them away from everyone, and play it. So that team's going to be India, that's for sure. Everyone wants to play India, everyone wants to have India.
Right.
So India are due to come out here to play 4 test matches later in the year. But to manage 16 teams in such a scenario is going to be very difficult. And we're looking at October, travel restrictions, all that come into play. So the World T20, well, it's going to be a difficult prospect. Australia don't seem have actually said it's not practical for them to host it, and ICC probably hoping for the best to try and get as much events in as possible. Hence, have still not made a call on it.
Well, in terms of this new normal that we're talking about right now, especially with the spectators being allowed to come in for cricket matches, or when it does happen, being allowed to come in for cricket matches, if by any chance that the ICC or even the country's regulations do not allow the spectators to be a part of it, you being an ex-national player yourself, how much does that actually influence a person's or a player's performance where you don't have crowds sitting and possibly cheering you on?
Yeah, it gets boring,
Right,
um, and sometimes you want to be putting on a show.
right,
So that's what it's about. That's the enjoyment. People there cheering everything, maybe even booing. So those are the emotions that you ride. And some players, on flat days, they don't show up. But when the crowds are there and all eyes are on you, that's when they get out and do their best. But um, that is the bling side of it, and it is really nice to have the atmosphere which really eggs you on and kicks on. But for us to move forward without spectators and get out there and play the game, you're going to have to do it, and they're going to get used to it.
right.
I don't think it's going to be a big problem, because playing sport, I think, is important. Even in this scenario, it's some people might say, "Oh, they are playing, whereas everyone else is struggling." But
Right,
if you just look at it, even on TV, it gives you some entertainment. Otherwise, what do people have? They're
right,
stuck at home. Nothing's happening.
right.
There's nothing to talk about. There's no one to sledge. So life just becomes flat as ever. So, in terms of the entertainment aspect, to G people up and give them something, I reckon it's important that sports gets out there even without the crowds.
So we're
The
looking.
crowds
So,
are secondary, I would say, because there's a lot more that people can gain in life with sport happening, and there are certain jobs and other things that would come along with it. So that is the real fact, and hence it's important to keep going and try and keep kicking on, or
so
hitting the ball rather.
well, there you go. So, in terms of what really is going on with cricket, I mean, yes, like we early said, almost 4 months of no sport whatsoever, and we're really hoping that England obviously kickstarts this whole process. I mean, I think it was just last week that there was a bit of a scare that almost 7 or 8 Pakistani players tested positive, and 2 days later they automatically tested negative. So really don't know exactly how that works out. But then yes, England of course are looking forward in hosting Pakistan, but they are going ahead with
Well,
strict.
West Indies are already there, Shaq.
Yes, they
West
are.
Indies have already played practice matches, and they're just about to start a test match. And they're playing 2 tests at Old Trafford and
Right,
one in Southampton. Now, why they're doing that is they're training in those venues as well. There are hotels that are at the venues. So there's Trafford Lodge,
right.
and most rooms, from the rooms you can watch the cricket. So on a general day, a normal day at Old Trafford, those kind of turn out or double up. The rooms double up to being corporate boxes. So you book a room, you get your friends in, and you watch the cricket from there. So it's all in one complex. Hence, these 3 test matches will be played in those 2 grounds for that reason. So it's easier to keep them isolated from the rest.
Yeah, obviously, hopefully everybody's hoping that the cricket is going to be back and everyone's going to basically, the people who can go for the matches are going to hopefully go for the matches, and others who can sit back and watch it at home wherever it's being played right now. We're really looking forward for some exciting cricket to come our way. But cricket has been pretty exciting back here in Sri Lanka also, Russ, even though we haven't played a match so far. But I don't know if you've obviously heard about the current situation which is going on. Almost after 9 years, there's been a doubt that has been cast over the 2011 World Cup final. You remember the final very well. I think we actually spoke to each other when I was in my previous radio station at that point. And let me be frank with you, straight up. Did you think there was anything fishy that was going on in that final, Russell?
What sort of a question is that? The game makes total cricketing sense to me. We were beaten by a better team. We were caught on the hop that day, and yeah, the discussion ends just there with me, um, because it was a game of cricket, and yeah, watching. I was there in the commentary box watching Sri Lanka play right through. I watched I think I watched every game since I've quit, from having the best seat. And yeah, initially when this talk came out, all I could do was laugh. It was just like that. But to what I'm hearing over the last day or two, it's pretty disappointing. And well, I guess maybe people need to have their inquiries, whatever. I don't know the process, and but it is disappointing what's happening. And I'd be very surprised if anything does, or anything proper, or anything does come out of this, other than just being a waste of time, because I do have great respect for my former teammates, and friends, and I'd be very surprised if these so-called allegations have anything to it.
Yeah, well, that is something that I think is suddenly sort of sprung open everything what is going on right now. But Russ, we're
Yeah,
gonna.
I mean, it's 9 years since, and I think the person who initially brought it up, wasn't he the sports minister then? So wasn't it an issue to be attended to immediately, rather than 9 years down? So everything's, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, well, we're actually going to be talking to Rex on the other side of this. Rex, of course, right smack in the thick of things by reporting cricket for many, many years. So we're going to basically have a chat with him on the other side. But Rasya, just before we do let you go, with lots of, hopefully with lots of cricket basically coming in the next couple of months or so. The composition, I know you haven't seen too much of the Sri Lankan team because ever since Mickey Arthur took over, because we haven't really had too much to obviously talk about because the England tour was also postponed, then the Bangladesh tour, so many things. But have you heard anything from inside the team as to how the composition of the team is coming along? How are they obviously getting along with the new coach? How's the training process? Even though everyone was under lockdown, and everyone was also basically given home training routines to keep themselves fit, make sure that they don't slack and become very lazy at the same time.
Well, one thing must be said. When Mickey took over, Sri Lanka were in Pakistan, and the type of cricket they played then was haphazard, like what we've seen over the last few years, where you wouldn't feel that unless the other team fell over, that they were not going to win. But since then, they really have picked up, and they started playing an enjoyable brand of cricket. Like, I'm seated at the edge of my chair watching them play, the fielding, the fitness, and it gave you the feeling that this team is back. There are, of course, areas to build on the consistency, and to get up there and challenge everyone, because they only played West Indies since then. Um, so there were good signs. There were young players showing a bit of arrogance. I like the word arrogance because you need arrogance. That's a kind of confidence that you need to take anyone on. And the combination was looking good. So the more they play together, the more they understand, and the more they buy into this type of philosophy, that team is going to get better. And it had a good balance of experience and uh, youngsters. So we had a lot to look forward to. Unfortunate that they don't have games to play, but the routines that they've been going through uh, seem to be great. The guys seem to be enjoying it. They seem to be loving each other's company right now. They've been having these camps. So of course, again, um, different social habits. Um, you can't be hugging each other as you've done before, or any of that. Regularly wash your hands, keep yourself clean in that sense. And when the camp started, they were of course looking forward to playing again in August, September. Bangladesh and Indian tours, they were still kind of on, but since it's not on now, they don't have much to look forward to. So that takes a little bit of the enthusiasm out. So they're playing practice matches, but uh, they, the confidence, the trust, and the skills seem to be getting better. Getting better might not be the right word, Shaq, because I always believe that our boys are very talented, very skilled. It's just about getting it out there and competing under any circumstance. So that type of understanding and belief is coming in, and at the moment, with nothing on offer, they're having fun. So those are all good signs, and hopefully, if they can get out and play against someone else sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
that will be the best for them to actually underline what they're doing.
Right, right, right. Yeah, really looking forward. I mean, really looking forward to the team under Mickey Arthur to see exactly how things pan out and the composition of the team because it's a different mindset altogether, isn't it? When you move from one coach to another, because the practice is different, the approach to the game is completely different. Lots of coaches have different ways of. I mean, you're a coach yourself, and the mindset, of course, is pretty different when you do take over a team that's been sort of sanctioned differently.
Yeah, I mean, for Mickey, yeah, obviously he'll have great experience. He's dealt with South Africa, Australia, Pakistan, and now Sri Lanka. So dealing with teams, he'll have some experience. He'll know what to do, what not to do, what works, what doesn't work. But on the other hand, all cultures in these teams are also different. Personnel are so different. So
Right,
you have to be able to understand them and then work with them. So being in Pakistan and then coming here, it's pretty close, I'd say, rather than
right,
from a Western culture. How we think, how we like to go about our business, and then comes in your theories,
right,
your tactical know-how, how you like to play the game, how you know the game. I'm talking about as a coach,
right,
and then you have to understand what you have in front of you in terms of personnel. What can they do? And then you come up with how to get the best out of them. So it is a massive challenge. But right now, the feedback from the boys are that they feel free. They feel they can express themselves. They feel they can. They feel like people.
right, right, right,
Sometimes you feel suffocated because um, you have to just fall in line and do what you're told. But right now they're able to express themselves and in a great zone. So credit to Mickey, and hopefully we can keep it that way and get some results in our favor. Results will always lift everyone, not only the team but also the fans, and even people like you to up the ante in
yeah, of
hosting these
course.
shows.
We're always up the ante, but yeah, it can be a bit depressing when you have a series of losses to go through. But yeah, but you seem to be very very positive most of the time, even though we have a string of negatives, a string of losses. You always somehow sneakily find something positive after every match that we unfortunately lose.
Well, that's what life is about, isn't it? And yeah, it's a case of seeing how you can win, how we can win. and sometimes it's fine margins that go missing and you're unable to get over the line. Sometimes it's as simple as winning moments. So you're playing good cricket, yeah,
Right.
you're rolling on, but then there comes a moment in a game where you have to be special. You have to stand up. This is the time you got to break the opponent's backbone or do something special to get ahead.
Right.
I always felt more often than not we were losing out there. The game goes on, and then the time to just increase the pace of the game or do something special is where we lacked. So that was probably understanding or probably the confidence not there to take that extra step. So we were always being close. We've always had the skill, and it was quite unfortunate that these silly mistakes were costing us. Hence, yeah, that's what you look for, and you hope for that to be rectified in the next game. So we're always looking to win. So that's what it's about. You might lose a few games, but then you still want to win.
Yeah, yep, that's true. Well, Russ, I know. We need to let you go because it's almost 1:30 in Sydney right now. So thank you so much for waking up for us, which is thank you very much, and being a part of it. But honestly, really do miss a lot of cricket. Really miss you in the commentary box. Really miss that banter. Really miss you giving back as good as you get, which is something that you keep the Sri Lankan flag flying high, and we really miss all that. And hopefully, we can hear you back on the commentary box as soon as possible.
Open the airport first.
I know exactly who to call for that.
Yeah, let's hope. Hopefully, we'll be up and running. The LPL, well, we are hoping that'll be up and running in late August. The Asia Cups there, India might still come,
Right.
but then travel restrictions is where it'll be decided. India are struggling at the moment in opening up their economy and for the players to come together to play to
That's
train.
right. That's right.
So places like Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India need to settle down a little bit more for that Asia Cup to happen. But we still have time. So hopefully July will be the month that turns everything around for us.
Yeah. It's the first day of the second half of 2020. The first half of 2020 was an absolute rubbish. But here, of course, it's like a new year. 1st of July is the new year. It's the second half of 2020. Russ, thank you so much for being a part of the show. And thank you so much for accepting an invitation, despite it being in the middle of the night in Sydney. And I really want to,
Yes.
hopefully we can speak to you very
Next
soon.
time, not in the middle of the night.
Come back to Sri Lanka, Russ.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
All right,
Missing the
thanks a lot,
shows.
Russell. And we'll speak to you soon.
All right.
And good night.
Right. See you guys. See you everyone.
See you. There you go, Russel Arnold. We live in a world that requires answers for complex problems. To understand the intricacy of details, we need fresh minds and individuals dedicated to answer the world's calling. At the Bristol Institute of Business Management, we are looking for more of the best minds, more free thinkers, and more problem solvers to gear them for that very call. Here's to those who want more from life, who want more from the things that actually matter. A whole new take, a whole new vision. To those who see much more in the little things, who want more from challenging the bigger things. To those who go for the goal. An arsenal of academics who strive for more. Here's to every one of them, and here's to more and more. A network of leaders who change more than the ordinary. This is much more than just an MBA. This is an MBA that will change the way you work. Welcome to the MBA from the University of the West of England. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a long time we've actually spoken to each other.
First, thank you so much for having me on the show and thinking of getting me on. So that's really much appreciated.
Then I started looking at what can I do now that can make me prepared for the future.
If you've got 4 out of the 6 that we have right, we've actually we've actually got about a 5,000 rupee voucher from a lovely little restaurant called Commons.
Holy shit, I'll be myself. People will come and they will go. Who cares? But I will make people happy.
That you mentioned that, actually it's a long time that, you and I have actually known each other.
It's been a long time since I've seen your face.
And make me a better person when I come out of this to be able to deal with it.
I'm happy. Even I can be foolish or joker to make people happy, no problem.
I don't know if you've been there, but they've given us
How do you manage that one? My first job interview was at Yes FM when I was 19 or something.
And usually we're freezing to death in some like little isolated room, no? Like
That's true.
Obviously, features.
Yeah, I managed it, Harper. I managed it. Right? If you get it, you'll get that 5,000 rupee voucher.
That sounded really wrong, but like where you lived.
Welcome back to the show. This is season 2 of Sit Back with Shaq, of course, brought to you by the the Bristol Institute of Management, University of the West of England. Thanks so much, guys, for being a part of it. And like I said earlier on, we've added different elements from season 1. Season 1, of course, we just had one guest on the show. Season 2, we've got an entertainment segment that's also lined up for you. We've got 2 guests that we talk about different stuff. And yes, we also have a home business owners section where we introduce small businesses right here on the platform. We're a small business ourselves, and we're opening our platform out to other small businesses, and you can share your businesses right here with us for potential customers, for potential clients, whatever it may be. We'd love to speak about it, and we'd love to let everybody else know about it also. In the meantime, we're all set to go. We've got 2 wonderful individuals. One, of course, I've known him for a very, very long time, and recently his daughter has joined him, and now they're singing together. So it's about time for us to cross over. Remember, everything we're doing here is remote, and we're crossing over to Shafi and Jana right now. So let's figure out how you guys doing.
Hey, Shaq, we're good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you, Shafi?
All good, Shaq, all good. Considering the situation the world's in, we're holding on and we're still alive.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good to hear. Just before we do obviously kickstart the entertainment segment, let's have a little chat with the both of you. And Shafi, like I told you, I don't think there's nothing much that I didn't know about you, because I've interviewed you 20 years ago, almost 50.
About 300 times all my life, Shaq.
Yeah.
You're running out of questions right now.
I'm running out of questions right now. I am. So I'm going to come back to you. But Jana, nice of you to be on the show.
Sorry?
I said nice of you to be on the show.
Thank you for having me, Shaq. It's a pleasure being here.
No problem. So let's figure out how you decided to actually start singing with your dad. Where did that inspiration come from?
I started singing pretty young, around 10 or 11 actually, in school, the whole choir thing. And I've always loved singing, but I've always been started with the whole corporate world and things like that. But I've always had a passion for singing, and my dad and my mom both have been more than supportive with me going forward with this. So that's why I'm doing what I love, though, definitely.
Excellent. So now, how long has it been since the both of you have actually come out as a duo at the moment?
Well, We just put this together completely after the Corona time. We had
Yeah,
plenty of time because
officially, yeah.
it just came around
Not really
after just
planned,
about 2 weeks
but
ago.
yeah,
No.
yeah, about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
I
when we
guess.
put that post.
I got digging holes, hiding things inside them. When I grow old, I won't forget to find them. 'Cause I've got memories and trouble like gypsies in the night. I'll build a home and wait for someone to tear it down. Then pack it up in boxes, then for the next time in. 'Cause I've got memories and trouble like gypsies in the night. And 1,000 times I've seen this road, 1,000 times. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots. I like standing still, but that's just a wishful thing. Ask me where I come from, and I say a different land. 'Cause I've got memories and trouble like gypsies in the night. I count weights and numbers and play the guessing game. It's just a place that changes, the rest is still the same. 'Cause I've got memories and trouble like gypsies in the night. And 1,000 times I've seen this road, 1,000 times. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots. I like digging holes, hiding things inside them. When I grow old, I won't forget to find them. I like digging holes, hiding things inside them. When I grow old, I won't forget to find them. I've got no roots. No. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots from my home, was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots.
Roots. Shaq, still you there?
Be able to hear me? You should be able to see me.
I can hear
Okay.
you.
Good, excellent. So Shafi, now where to from this point? I know you just put this together in 2 weeks. Have you started playing any live gigs, the both of you? How is this going to pan out? Especially Jana, I mean, if you're in the corporate world right now, there's a huge difference between a musician and a corporate world. I'm sure your dad knows. I'm sure your mom can actually tell you all about it.
Yes, yes,
can,
yes. But I
actually.
guess busy during the day and the night, I guess. But I'm ready to balance both of them. But
Yeah. I'm really glad to have her on board. Because like 21 now, I can take her out clubbing. Shaq, you remember we waited for this day for a long time.
So, have you guys started playing out regularly as far as gigs are concerned?
Yeah, we started, our first gig was at the One God Face,
And Dilma Tea
at the
Lounge and
Zilma
Bar.
Tea and Bar
Right.
Lounge.
Excellent.
It was a nice gig, so we got a couple more gigs to do there. They liked us, thankfully. And I think on the 5th, we're playing at the Irish pub
Yes, Sunday
upstairs,
6 onwards
Sunday
will be at the
evening,
Irish pub.
sundown party.
Oh,
Hopefully,
nice.
they like us, they'll keep us there. That's
Right.
the idea. And Loon Tower, we're playing on Saturdays
Okay.
on the beach.
The Dilma Tea Lounge again on the 10th and the 11th.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Excellent. So
More
you've got
fun.
so you've
So-
got your gigs lined up already, which is very, I mean, very impressive, guys. I mean, already at the moment. Shafi, does that mean that you've stepped back from playing with the band? What's happening?
Uh, well, right now it's difficult for me to find work for a full band. Shaq, to be
Yeah.
really honest with you. I don't know if anyone is capable of giving a full band work, even with
Right.
the sound system, with the sound and the sound boys and the bands. In Sri Lanka, I have about 100 people in there, including my band, the big band. So
Right.
we'll have to see. I think we'll play it by ear.
Right. And see how it goes
Yeah.
on. We unfortunately didn't manage to catch you on the interview yesterday on the song that we released. Yeah, so yeah, why don't we take this opportunity and finding out from you, Shafi, what was your experience like working on the track? Come on.
Okay, what's the question again?
I think we had the same conversation in the afternoon.
Yeah, yeah. And I told you truthfully, the question, Shaq, the question that you asked me was, what did I do during my COVID-19 period time? So I don't like to lie. So if I'm going to be honest, I can't tell you guys what I'm doing. I'd rather not.
That's
So that's why I
fine.
didn't
That's
send
fine.
you the link.
All right, guys, go ahead. We got another song coming up with Shafi and Jana
All right.
right here
Great.
on Sit Back with Shaq live on the Pod Hub platform. Let's hear it.
Dive on the one-way motorway. I'm the one that drives away and follows you back home.
And I'm a street light shining. I'm a wild light blinding bright, burning off and on. And it's times like these you learn to live again. And it's times like these we give and give again. And it's times like these you learn to love again. And it's times like these, time and time again. And I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new skies that has the stars born tonight.
And I'm a little divided. Do I stay or run away and leave it all behind?
It's times like these I learn to live again. And it's times like these to live again. And it's times like these you learn to love again. And it's times like these, time and time again. You make it better together, we make a better life. better life. Because the pressure is ever upon us every night. And every day so brave and we'll forever fight. We make it better together, we'll make a better life. I'm a little divided. Do we stay or run away and leave it all behind? And it's times like these you learn to live again. And it's times like these you give and give again. And it's times like these you learn to love again. And it's times like these, time and time again. And it's times like these you learn to live again. And it's times like these you give and give again. And it's times like these you learn to love again. And it's times like these, time and time again.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
This is
Thank you,
social
thank you.
distancing altogether.
Really, yes. It'll be a while before we do that. Thanks.
Thanks so much, guys. So just before we do
you
say
for having us,
goodbye,
Jack.
why don't you let us know the gigs lined up again? So everybody obviously want to see you perform. Where should they come this weekend to see you guys perform?
That's cool. Thank you very much. We have all kinds of music that we play when we get together. We can play from a soft this or even sound like a full band because I have a loop station I keep messing around so I can really sound like a full band. But we play accordingly to the place. On the 5th, we're playing at the
Irish pub on
Irish pub
Sundays.
upstairs on Sunday evening at 5 o'clock sundown. We start there. On the
Saturdays, Loontown.
Saturdays, Loontown Beach. 2 Saturdays a month, Loontown Beach. Call and find out which Saturday it is because even we are not sure it's there.
But this Saturday we're there.
But this Saturday we're there. And the 11th and 12th we're playing at the T. Duma Bar and Lounge.
At the One Golf
At
is
the One Golf Face in Colombo. So far, that's it.
Awesome. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Jana is the manager of this band, right? So it goes without
If it was
saying.
left to the two of us, it'll be finished. We're both the same.
Yeah.
Our wife is the one who manages it.
Mom, man.
She's cold, that's every day. That's it. She's the one. She's the one.
It's
Both of us in the same boat, absent-minded professorials.
That's the way to promote a band, Shafi. That's the way.
I didn't say Shaq.
God, we
I
have a
didn't
good
say
manager. Not to worry.
The manager
Mom
makes
is
us
the
look
savior.
good.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, guys, for being a part of the show. Wish you, both of you, all the very
Thank
best.
you.
Cheers, Shaq.
Not a problem.
Cheers,
And
man.
thank you for
having us.
accepting
Give it
our...
up to Russell.
I will. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation to coming on the show. All right, guys?
Oh, it was
Right,
our
thank
pleasure.
you.
All the best, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care, Shaq.
Thank you very much. There you go. That's Jana and Shafi, father and daughter duo, giving us some fantastic music. They're giving you a lineup as to where you can expect them this weekend. If you missed out on it, don't worry about it. Jump on the platform once again and we'll have it all posted up for you so you can listen to them all over again. All right, we're just almost done with the show. Now, what we do at the end of the show for every season 2 of Sit Back with Shaq, of course, is we highlight a small business on the show. We highlight small business owners, small businesses. Why do we do that? We're a small business ourselves, and what we would like to do is we would like to extend our platform to all other small business owners. Jump on the platform, introduce your business, let others know about it. Go after those potential clients, potential customers. By all means, just come on the show with us. If you want to get in touch with us, please drop us an inbox on the show right now, and we'll be more than happy to get in touch with you. It doesn't matter what the business is, as long as it's a small business, as long as it's a home business, we're more than happy to help you out. So here's a very interesting business that we've discovered, and they got in touch with us. It's an online tourist agency, tourism. It's marketing Sri Lanka, and it's called discover.lk. What is it all about? Take a look, and we'll be back right after.
Sri Lanka is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Until recently, every year we welcomed around 2 million visitors from around the world, enjoying our history, culture, wildlife, beaches, nature, and food. Numerous smaller businesses have started to meet these demands, creating thousands of jobs. However, recent events have forced us to close our borders like many other countries, and businesses who relied on those visitors are at a standstill. Overnight, virtually, everything changed. But this has also made it the best time for us to explore and experience our own country while we support our local businesses. Because the good news is that none of these attractions have changed. Planning a trip in Sri Lanka, whether you're a local or a visitor, has been challenging because many of these attractions are not easily found online. A lot of them only take bookings over the phone. We decided to change that. Our goal is to make it easy to find information about all these attractions of Sri Lanka, helping every traveler have the holiday they dreamed of. We gave life to discover.lk with a collection of 500 compelling stories about Sri Lanka's attractions. Linking them with places to eat, stay, things to do, rentals, and so on. Now you can plan your whole trip on a single website. The other key goal is to help local businesses to develop their digital presence by giving them the ability to manage their own business listing on discover.lk or to build a simple yet quality website for themselves. Our focus is to make it easy and affordable for any local business to get online, enabling them to connect with visitors. We are working on systems which allow you to get online bookings effectively. We live in a beautiful country with so many incredible attractions. Visit discover.lk to find out about the hidden gems of our country and plan your next trip. If you own a tourism business, register at our site for an online listing. Send us an email to hello@discover.lk or call us on 011 2722 908.
There you go, all the details are up on for you, discover.lk, and an opportunity for you to find out lots of stuff that can be done right here in Sri Lanka. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the show. It's season 2 of Sit Back with Shaq, which of course is brought to you by the Bristol Institute of Business Management. I'm going to give you all the details as far as the Bristol Institute is concerned next week on the show. We have different guests. We obviously have different entertainment acts for you that happens on the show. It's season 2 of Sit Back with Shaq. It happens every Wednesday night at 8:30, coming to you live on the PodHub platform. Till we speak to you once again next Wednesday, thanks so much for being a part of the show, and have yourself a very good night.